Okay, we're going to do a turquoise Easter-inspired resin tray and 2 coasters. And I'm going to go ahead and mix the resin, and then after I've got it mixed, then I'll talk to you about everything that we're going to use. We are working with Counterculture DIY Artist Resin Medium Viscosity. I need 32 ounces for the tray and the coaster molds. So I'm going to do 16 of B first. B is thinner, and then I'm going to pour the A, which is thicker, into B. And that's the easiest way to mix resin, is always to do A into B. Timer set for 6 minutes, going to hit start. My multi-use mixing tool, it's been used probably 30 times or more, 40, and it's just a big stick, and I've got some masking tape around it, but that's what I use. I like it the best. You will have a resin that starts out kind of cloudy. It will clear up after 6 minutes, and you don't have to go fast. This is the speed that I mix it at. You can go back and forth. You can go around the edges, which helps to blend that A and B together. You can do crazy 8s, but the key is just to get it mixed consistently. You don't have to go fast. So I'll fast forward through this and be back in 6 minutes. Okay, it's been 6 minutes. Now I'm going to go to stopwatch, hit start, and we're going to time this. This is really important for this process. And I'm going to put the resin aside for a minute while I talk to you. We really need for it to kind of do its thing and start to warm up, and that can take up to 20 minutes. So I'm just going to share a few things with you, stop my video, and then come back when the time is right. So I've got my 1800 watt heat gun, the low temp 300 watt Counterculture heat tool, a torch. I keep a paper towel taped around it so I don't get resin all over my handle, but just a culinary heat torch, 91% alcohol in my squirt bottle here. This is a 13-inch silicone mold from Amazon, and these are little 4.5 to 5-inch coasters molds from Amazon as well. And they hold, this holds about 32 ounces of resin. This holds 4.5 to 5 ounces of resin each, but I'm only going a little over halfway on the coasters, which is, I'm going to basically put about 3 ounces in each one, which is plenty thick because we are going to do a top coat. And then in here I'll put the rest, which will probably be about 26 ounces that go in the tray. Once it's cured for about 5 hours, it's because it's medium viscosity and it cures fairly quickly, then we can remove it, turn it over, and hopefully it'll be beautiful enough to where we can just top coat it, put some knobs on it for the tray, put a nice glassy finish, and it'll be done. For the color, I'm going to use this little piggy by Fluid Art Company. It's below the video. Billabong mica powder. And I think I'm going to use Bray Reese, Ocean Green, and Sky Blue for my alcohol that I'm going to drop onto the top of the surface of the resin. For the white, I'm going to use Pinata, mostly Pinata white alcohol ink. A tiny little bit of Pearl Shimmer mica by Counterculture DIY, and I have this beautiful opal. As you can see, it's got some shimmer to it. It is opal Pinata alcohol ink, and I may use that as well. And the white, I'll also have some Armor Art white pigment paste, and extremely a tiny amount. Or if you don't have that and you happen to have Cast and Craft, both of them you can get on Amazon. You can also get Armor Art from Counterculture DIY. but this is on Amazon as well. The resin is on Amazon, so you can find most of these on Amazon except for the this little piggy pigment. I'm only at 4 minutes since I finished mixing, so I'm going to wait until about 18 or 19 minutes and then I'll be back to show you what else we're going to do. Okay, it's been a little over 19 minutes. I'm feeling it, and it's not like warm to the touch or anything at this point, but we're going to go ahead and separate it into a cup with about 4 ounces in a 5-ounce cup, and then about 2 ounces in the white. I'm going to go ahead and, there's a dry stick, stick my stick in and wipe it all the way off. We just want the residue on the stick, and that's it for the white, for the pigment. And then for the alcohol ink, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 drops. And I want to put a little mica pearl shimmer, which has a pretty kind of color shift to it. Got a little bit of a blue purple. It's just really pretty. I'm going to put a little spoonful in, and I do this over a paper towel just so that it doesn't get into the mold by any chance. And when you have stuff on your stick, just keep wiping it. I think that's pretty good. I want it to be lightweight and not heavy with pigment. This one is going to be the Billabong. Let's do 1, 2 healthy scoops. Now the cups here I can feel are warming up, and we're at 23 minutes, so I need to work faster. I'm going to add just a little bit more. So about 2.5 scoops. There's Ocean Green by Resin, which when I do that it looks really green, so I was going to put that on top of my resin, but I'm not sure now. This will go in our mold right before we put the white in. So I'm going to move this. Alright, so let's fill up these about halfway with about 3 ounces. Put that aside. Take the silver leaf. I like to get a little resin on the tip. Don't need a lot, less is more. Okay, so turquoise, we're gonna give this a try. I'm going to spread it out so that in case I need to mix it into the resin a little bit, it won't be super saturated. And this is Sky Blue, which is pretty light. These are both Resin alcohol inks. "27 minutes." Sometimes they drip out when you don't want them to. Okay, and then I've got to add a metallic silver. I'm going to do one in the middle here. Okay, a little bit there. And then I'm just going to kind of go through and mix really, really, really quick. And then make sure my silver leaf is in the middle. So now we're at 29 minutes. This cup is warm. I'm going to go around the edge and pour a healthy amount. Come over here and do the outer edge of the coasters. I put alcohol on it, ink, so keep your flame kind of higher up. Don't get super close to it. And now we're going to take the white. We're at 30 minutes. Start in the middle. And we're just going to go in little spirals. Basically going out to that line of mica. And then little spirals here in the coasters. Gonna wipe my sticks off. Always reuse them over and over again. Just wipe them off with a paper towel and let them cure. Don't want any large blobs that drop down, so keep that in mind. I'm going to heat it on low. Okay, I'm going to go ahead on the coaster and just pull into the center and wipe my stick each time. Going to swirl around. I'm doing this very, very lightly. Come in to the center. And do it again. You can also spritz anytime you want to with alcohol. On inks it'll kind of make spots, but then that doesn't show up later. I didn't use the opal alcohol ink. I decided not to. So I'm going to leave this as is. Shoot. Cover it, and I'll be back in about 4 or 5 hours. Okay, it's been 4.5 hours and it's set up. It's pretty firm, it's not flexible. Put a piece of parchment paper down just so nothing sticks to it when I remove it from the mold. This is not cured, but it's firm enough to be able to unmold it. I'm going to do the coasters first. So there's the coasters. They're a little lopsided, but hey, they're pretty. I'm not mad at them. My silver leaf got a little skewed. And here is the tray. So there it is on white. And there it is on wood. So I like to look at it with different backgrounds, because if for some reason, you know, it looked kind of rough on top of wood or on top of white, or I'm sure a dark background would look good too. But I think I can live with this. I have been using a background color, but I think I'll use this. And then I'm going to need to top coat everything. And I use silver this time, so I'll be using the crystal knobs with the silver. I just get them in bulk from Amazon. I mark a 3-ounce cup inside, and I'll pour to that point. I'm going to use fast set like always. B first, then the A, as always. With any viscosity, B is always thinner, A is always thicker. But I mix B in first and then add A to it, because it just mixes so much easier that way. If you put the thick in first, you have more chances of it sticking to the your cup and not mixing as well, and then it won't cure properly. Now I'm going to put A, and you see how much thicker that is? It's kind of like corn syrup. So I'm starting the timer for 6 minutes. Not going to mix fast, just going to mix just like this, back and forth. The same as I do the medium viscosity resin. I mix this the same way, it's just much thicker. And I'm going to do this for 6 minutes, and I'll be back after 6 minutes. Okay, it's been 6 minutes. Make sure your hands are clean, your gloves are clean. You wouldn't use your hands for this, you always have gloves on. You have 10 minutes working time. I like to use the heat just to make it a little bit more pliable. I don't just pull it straight out. I kind of do little curved movements. And that way it kind of catches on the edges of that geode top, as far as the jagged edges. And it works really well to not go over the edge. And you can kind of tilt it and move it without it really spilling over, which is nice compared to like a medium viscosity. I'm preparing all of these different colored tray and coasters for the Art Healing Hearts auctions show on my Facebook group. Links are below the video. It's going to be Friday and Saturday, the 15th and 16th, and my show day is Saturday. All of my pieces for this auction will be resin pieces, in case you're interested, or you think somebody else might be interested. And I also started this new channel because the other channel was just not doing anything. It was just not growing. It's just been really stagnant. And I still add all the videos there, but I wanted to start a new channel and see if I could just make it totally instructional. Like the other channel, I have a lot of fast-forwarded painting videos and things like that. So I'm gonna leave a little bit of resin in this cup, but I'm gonna use most of it. And I'm just going to drag this out from the center as quickly as I can. And again, just a sweeping motion on the edges. I usually like to put it on a turntable, but I didn't move it over here, so I'm just going to turn it on the paper. But if it were sitting on a silicone mat, it probably wouldn't turn very easily. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're doing your top coat. It's nice to be able to turn it. It just makes it easier on you. The color of this billabong reminds me of sea glass. This is more bluish turquoise, but this color around the edge, it reminds me exactly of sea glass. It's really pretty. I'm not sure what, sometimes my videos don't fully translate into the exact color that I used on my video. It changes the tint of it, and I can't ever really get it exactly how it looks in real life, unfortunately. So I'm just going to go around. Whoop. Just going to lay that down and let it cure. Make sure my gloves are clean, and then I'm going to place my knobs. And going to press down and wiggle. Make sure it's got a nice little bond, and then what little bit of resin I have left in my cup, putting it around, not touching your knob. Clean my stick off and let it cure. I kind of do bursts around the knobs, just because the knobs are not glass, they're acrylic, and you don't want to scorch one, melt one, whatever. But we've probably gotten to about the 10-minute mark. Gonna let it cure overnight, even though it will be done in a few hours. I'm gonna be watching TV and going to bed, so I'll see what it looks like in the morning.